From the very first episode of Stranger Things, 11 was introduced as a mysterious, powerful girl who could do things no normal child ever should. She could flip vans with her mind, crush bones with just a look, and even tear holes into another dimension. But behind all of those powers is one haunting question fans have debated for years. How many people has 11 actually killed? The answer isn't simple, because 11's story is filled with trauma, experiments, and battles that blur the line between survival and murder. Today, we're breaking down every single confirmed kill, the questionable ones, and even the ones fans still argue about. And trust me, some of these are darker than you remember. 11's journey as a killer begins right where her life was shaped, the Hawkins National Laboratory. Raised in isolation and tested like a weapon, she wasn't given a chance to be a normal kid. When she finally escaped, the first major act of violence shocked both the characters and the viewers. Armed soldiers tried to capture her, and instead of running, 11 turned on them. With just a flick of her head, she snapped the neck of one guard instantly. This wasn't just an act of self-defense, it was the moment the audience realized that 11 wasn't just a victim. She could be a predator when forced into a corner, and this was only the beginning. But the debate starts right here. Was this truly murder, or was it simply survival after years of being abused? Either way, the body count had officially started. One of the most iconic scenes in Stranger Things comes in season 1, when 11 and the boys are cornered by government agents. Instead of surrendering, she makes a split-second decision that becomes one of her most remembered kills. She flips an entire van, sending it crashing upside down onto the agents inside. Viewers were stunned, not just by the scale of her powers, but by how casually she used them in such a lethal way. This wasn't just self-defense anymore. This was 11 showing the world that she was a weapon who could wipe out multiple lives at once. And here's the chilling detail. 11 never shows regret in this moment. For the first time, she doesn't look like a scared child. She looks like a soldier. Throughout the series, 11 racks up multiple kills against Hawkins Lab agents and government operatives. Some of them are quick, blood exploding from their eyes, bodies collapsing instantly. Others are less direct, like forcing them against walls with such force that they never get up again. The show doesn't always make it clear who survived and who didn't, but fans generally count at least 6 to 8 confirmed deaths of agents caused directly by 11's powers across the first 2 seasons. And the way these scenes are shot is important. They're not framed as heroic victories. They're framed as terrifying reminders of what happens when you try to control a child built as a weapon. But what came next would push 11's morality even further. By season 3, the show takes 11's powers to a new scale. Instead of just fighting soldiers, she's now battling creatures controlled by the Mind Flayer. She crushes monsters, rips apart demonic entities, and destroys living organisms that used to be human before the Mind Flayer absorbed them. The question fans argue about is, do these kills really count? Technically, many of those creatures were once people from Hawkins, but once they were absorbed, they became something entirely different. When 11 rips them apart, is she killing people or just monsters? It's a moral gray area. On paper, her body count skyrockets here, but emotionally, most fans don't count these deaths the same way they count her earlier human kills. One of the most overlooked parts of 11's story is her connection with Carly, also known as 8. In season 2, Carly encourages 11 to embrace her darker side, to use her powers not just for survival, but for revenge. In one pivotal scene, 11 nearly kills a man connected to her mother's suffering. She pins him down, ready to end his life.
Please.
The only reason she doesn't is because she remembers her friends and her father figure, Hopper.
You know, once we fix it up, it's gonna be nice. Real nice. It's your new home.
This moment matters because it shows that 11 could kill far more people if she chose to. The question isn't just about how many she has killed, it's about how many she almost did. And sometimes, those choices are even scarier than the kills themselves. Season 4 raises the stakes higher than ever. 11 isn't just fighting soldiers or monsters, she's fighting the mastermind behind everything, Henry Creel, also known as One or Vecna. And here's where things get interesting. Back in the flashbacks to the Hawkins Lab massacre, it's revealed that 11 was framed for the deaths of dozens of children and staff members. For years, fans believed she slaughtered them, but the truth was different. It was Henry Creel who carried out the massacre. 11's only kill in that moment was blasting Henry into the Upside Down. accidentally creating Vecna. So technically, she didn't massacre those kids. But in a way, she created the greatest killer of them all. By the time season 4 ends, 11's confirmed human kills number somewhere between 11 and 15 people, depending on how you count certain scenes. Add in the Mind Flayer's creatures and other supernatural entities, and the number skyrockets into the dozens. But the real story isn't just the body count, it's what those kills do to her. Every time she uses her powers lethally, it takes a physical and emotional toll. She bleeds, she collapses, she screams in pain. It's like the show wants us to remember, this isn't just an action hero. This is a traumatized teenager, burdened with the weight of lives lost at her hands, and that's what makes her story so haunting. So, how many people has 11 actually killed? If we only count confirmed, on-screen human deaths, the number sits between 11 and 15. If we include the van agents, soldiers, and the less clear kills, it could stretch closer to 20. And if we add in monsters, creatures, and Mind Flayer victims, we're talking about dozens upon dozens. But the real answer isn't just a number, it's the fact that 11 has been forced to kill since childhood. Unlike most characters, her story is about survival, not choice. And while fans argue whether each act was justified, one thing is undeniable. Every single kill defines who 11 is becoming. At the end of the day, 11's kill count isn't just about numbers, it's about what it means for her character. She's not a cold-blooded killer, but she's also not innocent. She exists in a gray area, torn between being a weapon and being a girl who just wants to live a normal life. And with season 5 of Stranger Things on the horizon, one question remains. How many more people will 11 kill before the story is over? And when it's all said and done, will she be remembered as a hero or as the deadliest experiment Hawkins ever created?